D Raww.
What's up, people? It's your boy D Raww coming to you with another episode of the Houston Sports Connoisseurs podcast. Hey, don't forget to seek, listen, and learn to be a sports connoisseur, just like me, your boy D Raww, the connoisseur. Hey, today I got my boy Trey on here again today. You know, my co-host. Tell him what's up, Trey.
How y'all doing, man?
So, me and Trey, we're going to go over the NBA again, as usual. The Rockets, we got to talk about them. The Texans. And then there's other interesting topics as far as the NFL. And then we got some college football bowl pick'em. This week we actually got to pick all the big bowls, because we're leading up to the new year. So we right there, everything cooking. And then we could just talk about a little college basketball because since college football is really finna be out the door, we finna start transitioning into college basketball, and all of that is finna start picking up as well. Let's talk about the Rockets. We had made our little predictions. We said the Rockets would go 2-1 on the road against the Bucks, Cavs, and Memphis Grizzlies, and yet they went 1-2. How you feel about that, bro?
Ooh. I feel the way I feel about it. I gave them a chance against Cleveland. They competed. I went overtime. I was very surprised on how everybody played. Everybody had mostly double digits that game. But I felt that they should have beat Cleveland, but didn't happen. Milwaukee, I knew it was going to happen. We already all knew that's going to happen. But the Rockets, they keep pushing. They 13-10 right now. Still bad away right now, 2-9. They got to figure some things out. Still a long season.
13-12.
13-12. I'm sorry.
So they did beat Memphis, and even the Memphis game, it was pretty close. It was a game that the Rockets really had a big margin in over the Memphis Grizzlies, and yet they still kind of let the Grizzlies get back into the game, but they still figure out a way to close out the game. So at that point, I was happy because we 1-0. Right there, we get another road win. That was the second win on the road for us throughout the whole season. But then we had to take on the Milwaukee Bucks, and that was a 128-119 loss. But even though the Rockets lost this game, and me and you had picked the Rockets to lose this game, there was really a lot of times in this game that the Rockets really had a shot, and they had been down, bro, like literally in this game, the whole game by like 5-7 points. You know what I'm saying? They was right there just knocking on the door. But to be honest, like from my perspective, what I was looking at, I know Dame Lillard had 39 points. You know what I'm saying? And that's a lot of points. But Van Vliet, every night he always plays amazing. Even then, he still put up 22 points. He had 6 assists. He had a couple blocks of steal. I feel like Van Vliet did a pretty good job. Even the bench in this game did a pretty good job, surprisingly. But the one X factor that really killed us, in my perspective, bro, was Chris Middleton. I mean, yeah, he was 1 for 5 from 3, but when we talk about mid-range game and killing us, that's what Middleton was doing. And now I think that's why the Rockets lost to the Bucks overall.
Yeah, I think what really killed us that game is the amount of free throws we gave them. Damian Lillard went for 12-13 from free throw. Antetokounmpo went 5 from 11. And looking at them score 119-128, them free throws played a big factor, I think, more than Chris Middleton. He probably was coming in clutch in final moments, but them free throws, you can't get it. You can't let them get that to the line that much. I think we need to tighten up on the defense. That's what the Rockets need. We competing against some of the best teams in the NBA, but I can tell we're lacking on the defense. We need somebody to step up on the defense. But I've been surprised by how well the backups been playing because they've come in, they've been hooping. I've seen it in the past three games, and I like what I've been seeing. But the defense got to tighten up. Defense has to tighten up. I know we spoke about Jabari Smith picking up on the rebound game late. I know the past 3 games he averaged 8 rebounds the past 3 games. And I like what I've been seeing, but defense got to tighten up.
Yeah. The Rockets defense is actually, they have like one of the highest percentages so far this season. I think they was like number 2 in the NBA in defensive percentage or something like that. But when you look at them playing the Bucks versus the Cavs where they allowed 135, that was overtime, versus the Bucks 128 in regulation. And then we went on to play the Hawks as well. where we allow another 134 points. So two nights, 3 nights, whatever you want to say, we almost pretty much allowed 130 points on average. And like you said, defense is really the big thing that's going on with the Rockets right now, especially when they're on the road. But even when they was at home, they still allowed 134. And this Emi Udoka team is supposed to be like a defense supreme, I will say, as far as NBA teams go. But these last 3 or 4 games, they have not been that. And hopefully they start ticking in the right direction when they play their next upcoming opponents. Because when you allow teams, superstars like Donovan Mitchell to go out and get 37 points, and you let some no-name dude named Struss get 17 points, you got a problem, bro. You got people anybody just out here getting double-digit points against the Rockets right now. And in the Rockets, to me, I feel like, some of the players step up and some of them don't. And the players that we need to be more consistent is the same players we always say every week. It's Jabari Smith Jr. and Jalen Green. In that Cavs game with Smith had 5 points, Green had 12.
I know we speak on that a lot, and I actually been surprised the past 3 games by Jalen Green. He didn't play well against Cleveland, but in the other two games, he actually played pretty well. Not saying he didn't improve as much as I wanted him to, but that 2 for 12, jacking up shots, you got to do better with that. You just because you gave 12 points, you took 2 for 12 to get to 12 points. That is terrible. That is terrible numbers. But no, Jabari Smith, I've been more surprised with him. He didn't have a great game against Cleveland. That's cool. Everybody gonna have their slump games. That's gonna happen. But everybody else picked up where they need to pick up when somebody's not playing well. I remember seeing that game in Cleveland where Jabari Smith was doing so bad they had to take him out. They took him out, and Easton came in doing his thing, and he was keeping them in the game.
Yeah.
But overall, I've been liking what I still been seeing from them overall, but I still want to see better improvement on the defense. Where and how that's going to happen, I don't know. I also feel that, the head coach been doing a great job, because I didn't think that, I thought it was just a terrible team in general, but him coaching, he done something to turn it around. And I like that. I'm not going to talk about his off things off the court as a coach, but his things that he's doing as a coach right now for them, I like it.
Yeah, the Rockets are definitely headed in the right direction as far as the coaching standpoint. Another thing I would say is that I think Tari Eason, bro, he's really, hats off to Tari Eason. He's really been playing amazing with some of the minutes he's had and the shot attempts he's had as well. Sometimes I actually think that maybe the Rockets should swap Eason for Green, put Green on the bench, let Green come off the bench, and maybe that would probably spark Green a little bit more, because now Green can have more control and he can be as aggressive as he wants coming off the bench, versus letting Van Vliet, pretty much control his game and have, control of his shot selection. But at the same time, the player that we drafted Green to be is not the player that Green is right now. You know what I'm saying? Green right now is playing to me like a bench player. I would say that the loss to the Hawks is not Green's fault. To be honest, like Jalen Green went 7 for 19 from the field. He had 16 points. He played pretty decent, But when you look at this game, Jabari Smith had 34. That was, I think, a career high or almost close to it. Dylan Brooks 19, Sengun 14. That's the problem right there. Van Vliet 32, and we said Green 16. But then you look at the bench. The bench only combined for 12 points. So everybody want to sit up there and blame Jalen Green all the time. But look at the bench, bro. And I know Tari Eason didn't play, but you got to tell me, bro, somebody on this bench has to be able to, put a double digit, point advantage up for the Rockets on a, daily basis, bro, when they playing. And looking at this bench right now, from Jeff Green, Amin Thompson, which is number 3 rookie in the draft, and all he comes up with is 2 points. I know he played 8 minutes, But and he's probably trying to get in shape again because he's been out for a while. But my biggest question is like, bro, where's Whitmore? You know what I'm saying? Why not put Whitmore out there? Because every time I see Whitmore, he come in and make a impact. You know what I'm saying? And Thompson, I'll be honest, bro, I have not been impressed with him so far. I think we got the wrong twin.
Okay. I was thinking about something last night watching the OKC game, and I was thinking about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. When Shai came in, he didn't progress as fast as Oklahoma thought he would yet. After Westbrook and them left, he was the main man, but he wasn't putting up the points he's putting up right now. It took him about a good 6-7 years before he really became the player that he is today. It happens, and maybe it might happen for Jalen Green, but right now maybe he needs that reality check and become a 6-man and lead the bench players and help them get started, because right now that's probably what we need, a good 6-man who's gonna come in and help the bench players come in, do their thing while the starters get their rest and keep the points going on. Maybe he needs that spark. Maybe he's not used to having somebody leading the floor like Van Fleet all the time. Maybe he need that reality check. And like I said, we do have a lot of young players. They still got a lot to improve on. So
yeah, well, I would say right now, Jalen Green in year 3, he on his last strike with me because he didn't play with KPJ, which KPJ granted was kind of like a ball hog. He did try to dominate the ball, and now he got Van Vliet, which is like a assist king, but also he can score when he need to.
Yeah, I think he's really almost leading the league with assists. Is either him or Tyrese Halliburton from the Pacers is doing their thing with the assists.
Yeah. So now Green, he done had 2 different kind of ball handlers at this point with him, and I feel like right now everything that Green is going through is all on him. You know what I'm saying? He's not aggressive enough. He's taking bad shots, and he's not putting himself in the game to make an impact in any other kind of way where people don't really be calling his name and blaming him, because he doesn't really make an impact on defense. He doesn't make an impact from the rebound point of view. So it's like, Green, what are you really doing at this point? We got you number 2 in the draft, and right now everything that we've seen so far is not showing that he's number 2 pick worthy. Right now he's looking like a 6-man. Hopefully, other than that, he's looking like a role player.
I don't think it's a complete bust just yet. Like I said, my point on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, it took him maybe a good 5-6 years before he became the guard he is right now. Right now, he's unstoppable as one of the top guards for real, because the way he comes in and take on that paint and put up them shots, I don't think nobody can stop that man, to be honest. He's one of the best guards, and I feel like Green got to find his own game. Somehow, some way, he got to figure it out. But I'm not going to give up too much hopes on him, but I do feel that he need to step into a 6-man role for a little bit. Even some of the greatest players I ever did it. The guy used to play for the Clippers. I forgot his name.
Lou Williams.
Lou Williams was a great 6-man.
And then it was another guy too. I can't remember
his name either. I know.
But yeah,
6-man, you can become still be a great player as a 6-man.
Yeah, the potential is there, bro, and hopefully we really get it out of him sooner than later, because his contract is going to be coming up soon before we know it, and we got to make a decision. Do we want to bring him in and give him that max deal, or let him go and fly and find somewhere else that he may be able to spread his wings?
My question is for you: would you rather give him up or give him another chance? If he wouldn't mind, don't take less money instead of max contract. If you get max contract, I agree.
If it's got to be a max, if it's got to be a max deal out of that rookie contract, I'm letting Jalen Green walk, bro, and he can find the nearest bus that'll take him to wherever he's trying to get to. But besides that, if we can get him for something cheaper and he come off the bench, or if he prove himself, throughout the season, it's still a young season. If he prove himself, then hell yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I want to see the change, bro. I want to see him be a dominant dog out there. I don't see it in him right now. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So, yeah. But looking at the Rockets' upcoming schedule, we're going to make a couple picks.
That's a tough schedule.
We can pick all the way from December 22nd as of today through January 1st as of the new year because, by that time we'll be back. So, looking at, some of the games, Houston and Dallas, Doncic out. Who you got?
I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take Houston. Dallas ain't nothing without Doncic. I don't know what Kyrie been at, and obviously they ain't been doing too well. They've been barely surviving just as well. But I'm going Houston.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna ride with Houston. Houston coming off a 3-game losing streak, and they at home. I really like Houston at home, especially this season, and they really need this win. Houston, New Orleans.
I'm gonna go to New Orleans on that one. Like when we at New Orleans, we ain't been good at away games, and also they got Zion. You got I can't get his name.
Brandon Ingram.
Brandon Ingram been doing good since he been to New Orleans, and he come.
And you got McCollum too. They got a squad in New Orleans, bro. They got a squad. They some sleepers.
I'm gonna take New Orleans.
I'm gonna take Houston because Houston played New Orleans earlier in the season and they won. But what's the face wasn't playing. Zion, Fat Boy. Yeah, he wasn't playing.
That's a big difference.
But I like Houston in this one. I want to see Sengun step up. And that's another thing we got to talk about later. But Sengun got to step up too, man.
I've been liking what I've been saying for Sengun, for real. I'm not gonna lie. I like what I'm saying.
Sometimes, but I feel like they gotta motivate him to get him going. Sometimes
I think he need to be more aggressive, though. He's not aggressive.
But also, I think he needs to be better on the defensive end because that's what's getting him off the floor. He's not, he's not really making anything consistently happen as far as defense, and that's what plays him off the floor.
His hustle, I need to see him.
That's what I'm saying. His hustle needs to improve. So I'm going to take Houston over New Orleans, and then on the 26th of December, the day after Christmas, we got Houston and Indiana versus, your boy Tyrese Halliburton.
I'm taking Houston on that one. I'm not going to lie. Indiana, they cool, but they don't got the team to stay strong. They decent, but they ain't got the right players to stay strong to make it deep in the playoffs.
And another good thing about this point of the season, on December 26th, people, the Rockets will go on a 7-game home stretch. And they've been playing well at home. So it's possible that the Rockets could, kind of turn all of this around as far as like where they at in this season. Right now we were like 13-12. So hopefully we beat Dallas. We'll get to 14-12. New Orleans, that's 15-12, and then Indiana. We could possibly be on a good win streak right here. But I don't know, man. Phoenix and Houston, I'm gonna ride with Phoenix on that one.
Oh, I already going with Phoenix. You can't stop. We ain't got nobody gonna stop Devin Booker. Then you got KD, the Spider. We ain't no telling with him that Sengun ain't gonna hold that man. KD, he gonna fade his ass all day. I'm going with Phoenix on it.
All right. But you know what? I like Jabari on KD though.
I don't like
similar length, similar build.
It's not really similar.
Both got the same kind of agility. They both agile. They can get lateral and stuff. I like it, bro.
KD more playmaker.
KD is a better playmaker. I mean, I'm not saying he gonna match his offense,
defense, but it's not happening. Phoenix all the way. I see Phoenix probably beating us by 15.
I don't know about 15. I give it like maybe 5 points. But we're going to see, bro. I'm going to ride with Phoenix, though. I think
15.
Phoenix, all right. Then we got Houston and Philly. How you liking that one? I'm going to ride with Philly on this one.
I'm going with Philly. Tyrese Maxey been balling. He been balling. I was arguing with somebody about that the other day. How he's been that man. And they like, James Harden been doing,
I agree.
Came in like that. He's like that.
I agree. Maxey was sitting in James Harden's shadow, and finally that Harden is gone, he really gets to open up and spread his wings.
And I like his game. I think he's one of the best young guards. I'm not saying he is, but I think he's one of the top 10 best young guards right now, and probably within in the past 3 years or so out of the last drafts that he's been one of the top guards to me. I like his game, and he can shoot very well, can assist, and he can make his own shot. He don't need nobody to get him open. He's like that.
Yeah, all right.
Wish Jalen Green was like that, but he ain't.
Sound like this guy that took you to dinner or something. He over there, sweet talking him and
like
stuff.
He like that. I'm gonna give credit where it's due.
And all right, so
it was my birthday. Birthday day.
Oh yeah. See, they got something else going on, people. Houston and Detroit, man. Houston should definitely win this game. We talking about a Detroit team that ain't won a game in who knows how long.
Sorry, Cade Cunningham. It's not that good. He's their best player other than Bogdanovich, but they got Ivy trash. You look on the sports bet now. They had this man at 8 points. I betted on him to get 8 points. Man had 2 points the whole game. They set his ass down. Trash.
All right, bro. I'm riding with Houston against Detroit. And then the last one I want to talk about is Houston versus Brooklyn. How you feel? I'm gonna be honest, bro.
Brooklyn, they're iffy team. They're iffy team, and I feel like I'm going with the Rockets on it. But if Cam Johnson going hard, and if what's his name that came from Suns, Mikal Bridges have a good night. Cade Johnson. I'm sorry if I'm getting his name messed up. If they have a good night, they can possibly beat us. It can go either way, but I'm going Houston for that one, though.
Yeah, I'm riding with Houston. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't worried about neither one of them dudes you just said. I know they some ballers,
Cam Johnson.
I don't think they gonna outball with Houston.
After Harden had left Brooklyn, Cam Johnson started going hard. Man was going for 30, 40-point games.
I know, I seen him.
But I'm still taking Houston. I feel like we still have the better playmakers and the better offense. I'm going Houston on that.
I would say this, bro. Like, I think by that time we talking like 6-7 games down the run. I feel like Amin Thompson, he'll be feeling a whole lot better. He'll be in much better basketball shape. I think he'll find himself by that time. He'll be better coming off the bench and a little bit more productive. Hopefully, Jalen Green throughout this stretch find himself getting back in the rhythm and being more consistent. Those two things for sure. But I think the Rockets, bro, they finna make something happen. You know what I'm saying? Going into this new year, I expect the Rockets to be looking a whole lot better. I know we only talking like, a week, 2 weeks at the most, but I think the Rockets gonna look better by that time. And I'm gonna take them over Brooklyn for sure. Especially at home. So that's enough on the Rockets talk though, you know what I'm saying? We had a good conversation on that for sure. Jalen Green got to improve. I want to see more from Amin Thompson in the next upcoming games. Hopefully get some more minutes. And hopefully the Rockets get some more wins, bro. And we can keep talking about this playoff talk. Because right now, I'll be honest, I'm not too sure if they're going to make it or if they're going to make it to the play-in.
Hey, but even if we do make it in the playoffs, we're not going to go nowhere. But the fact that we do go is a big improvement. Way big improvement.
Yeah. It's review time of the NFL schedule. We had made picks last week, and now I just want to kind of run through some of the games that was important to us, the Houston Texans fans, and also just look at some of these other games that was actually pretty interesting because I never thought in the day and this age that the Raiders would have beat up on the Chargers 63-21.
I didn't see that coming. I know I chose the Chargers that game, and that night I saw that. I was like, ain't no way.
Yeah, coach got fired right after that one. I would have fired his ass too.
And I called there. I said, somebody getting fired. And they fired his ass.
Oh, and then look, we talked about battle of the backups in the Bengals and Vikings game, and Jake Browning, he shined again, and he got the victory 27-24 over the Vikings.
I think I went for the Vikings that game. I was surprised that the Browns did what they did.
Yeah, and then the Steelers, bro, they just let us down. Gardner Minshew went out there, and he just served a fade to the Steelers.
I chose that
and
game
beat them
right.
30-13.
I chose that game where I knew the coach was going to win. I think Gardner Minshew was one of the best backup quarterbacks that's playing right now, and I feel like, to be honest, that he should be the starter.
Yeah.
I don't think what's the name should be the starter for them.
It's going to be interesting come next offseason because, they're going to have that duel again and figure it out.
Man, we know who really won that job.
And then, we had the Lions and Broncos. Jared Goff, 5 touchdowns, bro. against the Broncos. 42-17 victory for the Broncos.
I went for the Broncos.
I mean, not for the Lions.
I went for the Broncos. I went for the underdogs. I thought they would probably pull it off, but they didn't.
Bears and Browns. That was an interesting game. That was a game that the Bears really had a chance in. A game that they was actually leading in, and then they let Joe Flacco get hot and put them, put the Browns ahead of the Bears in the end. 374 yards from old Flacco, 2 TDs, 3 interceptions, and
that's crazy. And I believe I went for the Bears. I went underdog that whole week. And they could have came out they win. But you see what I mean? You see what the Browns did. They pushed the ball upfield. They stopped the run and start passing. That's how they won. But they pulled the dub out.
Yeah, got the dub. And we got them on hand this week. It's gonna be a problem. Buccaneers Packers 34-20 win for the Buccaneers. They win the Battle of the Bays. Mayfield 381 yards, 4 TDs. He's really stepping up his game this season in Tampa Bay.
That's why I chose Buccaneers because I've seen his play and I've seen how he's been playing for them, and I got that one correct.
Yeah. And then we had the Jets and Dolphins. Bro, it's really it really hurts my heart, bro, that the Dolphins went out there and beat the Jets 30-0, but yet last week we got beat by the Jets, 31-6?
Don't get me started on that.
So I'm like, man, what the fuck?
Don't get me started.
And I know Wilson didn't play. Well, he did, but he got knocked out. He had a head injury.
Regardless, he didn't play or not. The way how you said the Dolphins went in and beat them 30-0. That's what kills me about the Texans. Like, we have a great team and we lost to a team like the Jets. And I think about the Panthers, how they got the only fucking win this whole season against us. And it just tells you what's going on? Come on, come on, man.
Well, it's funny you say that because the Panthers actually got a win this previous week.
Oh,
they beat the Falcons 9-7.
I didn't even know that.
So now the Panthers got 2 wins on the season. Bryce Young had 167 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions.
Hey, you seen that video when they told him you the softest quarterback in the league? Crazy.
Man. Saints and Giants, 24-6 victory for the Saints. The Saints was right in the running for everything, trying to, take control of the division. They still in the fight, though, with the Buccaneers. And then we had the Rams and Commanders, 28-20 victory for the Rams. Matt Stafford, 258, 2 TDs. He's actually been playing pretty consistent, consistent so far this season as a veteran. I'm really surprised with Matt Stafford, at this point in his career. And then the people, that everybody has chose to win the Super Bowl, the 49ers, 45-29 victory against the sorry-ass Cardinals. Brock Purdy, 242, 4 TDs.
I know I'm not the only one who thought about this, but isn't Brock Purdy looking like the next Tom Brady?
I said that, bro.
Because the man came 6th round pick, and he ain't no quarterback came out like that low and playing that well since Tom Brady.
And he looking like it. He looking every bit of it. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't saying he is gonna be a Tom Brady winning 7 Super Bowl, but just the fact that the man playing as an underdog and came low in the draft like that and took over spots.
And the funny thing about Brock Purdy is that he's been doing this. This is what his second season doing it now.
Yeah.
And honestly, the league has still yet to give him recognition for what he's been doing.
I give him his recognition. When I saw him how he did last year, I didn't think he probably would do the same thing the following year, but the way he did this year and said it, that's enough for me. That's enough for me. You got my props already.
Yep. Sorry. And then, bro, Dallas and the Bills played against each other. Bills was at home. We already know Dallas is pretty good at home, but when they get on the road, man, they just got a problem. And once again, the one thing I realized about Dallas is a good football team. I know you hate to say that they're a good football team, but one thing they can't do is that they can't stop the run. And every team that has beat Dallas this year so far, they have had a good run game. And the Eagles beat them. They beat them with the run. The Bills beat them with the run. and somebody else who had beat them, they beat them with the run. And when you look at what Cook did for the Bills, 25 carries, 179 yards, one TD, you see the recipe. Dallas, fix your problem, people. Fix your problem. What do y'all call it? America's team? Because y'all ain't got no defense when it comes to the run.
That shit so played out, the America's team. That's 20-some years ago. Man, fuck them.
And then Dak Prescott, he played poorly as well. 134 yards, 1 interception. Those things got to be cleaned up if Dallas really want to go far in the playoffs. Because we already know they already clinched the playoffs. But the question is, can they get out the first round for the first time, and who knows how long? Ravens, Jags, 23-7 victory for the Ravens over the Jags. I thought the Jags would show up and play better, but I'm happy that they lost because now the Texans are tied for the number 1 seed in the AFC South.
Well, I was happy that the Ravens won anyway, and we needed the Jaguars to lose, but I knew they wasn't going to beat the Ravens.
Yeah. Eagles and Seahawks was a pretty good game on Monday night. 20-17 victory for the Seahawks. Drew Lock went out there and actually threw a clutch touchdown to get the win with 208 yards passing. Congrats to the Seahawks to keep on fighting for the NFC West. All right, so let's turn the page. Let's talk about the Houston Texans versus the Tennessee Titans this past week, and then let's get into this upcoming game against the Browns.
Wait on this topic right here.
So, the interesting thing is you were so happy. You was thinking about Davis Mills being the starting quarterback, and I told you Case Keenum was going to be the better starter out of the two.
And it really didn't matter which one started because Case Keenum didn't put up no spectacular numbers.
He didn't. He went 23 for 36.
What he did is what Davis Mills could have done. The only thing is, the reason why they probably made it start to Keenum probably because he probably know the system probably more.
I think.
And just more experience. But overall, it didn't really, to me, matter who was going to start. I feel like, your biggest thing, you always say the run game, this was a big factor, was it? But what I say, too, what they need to start doing. Passing that ball.
When they was passing the ball.
Nah.
The difference in this
game,
bro.
Beginning of that game.
The difference in this
they
game,
was doing that
bro.
bullshit short pass, trying to run. I said what they say. Push the ball downfield in order for us to win. We started doing it a bit. Singletary opened up our pass game a little bit with it, and Singletary he caught a big pass that kept us winning the game. That's why I said push the ball downfield. We have one of the best passing offense in the league. We like top 5 in when it comes to throwing the ball downfield.
That's true.
Put the ball downfield. When we do, we win the games.
But that's when you got C.J. Stroud. But we had Case Keenum, so the pass selection was gonna be a little different.
It didn't matter which quarterback.
Also, we had a quarterback that didn't play nothing but like 20-something snaps last season. And yeah, he a veteran. Yeah, he been around for a long time, but he's rusty, bro. The rush showed in the first half. Second half, Keenum looked better, and
that's
I think
understandable. Rush showed,
it's true. They did start off with them little short passes. That wasn't Keenum's fault, you know what I'm saying?
Of course, not his fault. It's the coach's fault. But what I've been saying the whole time we've been talking about the Texans, push the ball downfield. Let them throw. Then what I say last podcast, I said what? I said in order for us to win, we got to throw the ball. This is a must-win game. It's win and go home. We got to push the ball downfield, and that's what they started doing.
Yeah, they did, but what set that up? The run, bro. Run set that up.
It did. I'm not gonna lie about that, but then at the same time,
26 carries, 121 yards, 4.7 average. You know what I'm saying? Singletary set that up. Oh, but
Noah Brown had 82 yards.
He did, but that was all. That was all.
Short some key passes too.
Look, let me tell you what was the difference in this game. The receivers was actually catching the ball, bro.
Well, it wasn't a rain game, so.
You know what I'm saying? That ain't really no excuse because I seen somebody, I think it was college. Yeah, somebody in college, he went out and caught an amazing one-hand catch. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but we all know when it comes to rain, it's harder to catch the balls. It's gonna have fun. We know that's
excuses, bro. That's some excuses.
But overall, let's talk about the defense. Defense showed up on Derrick Henry.
Oh, no. The defense played amazing. We talking about Derrick Henry, bro. 16 carries, 9 yards total. You know, this dude wasn't even averaging a yard per carry.
They locked that man down.
That is historical for what the Texans did against, you know, Derrick Henry. We talking about a very, very good Pro Bowler, you know, as a running back. We talking about a dude that was averaging 200-something yards on the Texans in the last 5 games. And this is the least, bro, I'm looking right now. It say that's the least amount of scrimmage yards by a player with 20-plus touches in NFL history.
You know who? They know, and I feel like that's the culture thing. What players don't do a lot is game tackle. Meaning, one person tackle instead of just watching that person trying to tackle. I used to always see the Texans do that a lot. They had one person tackle, and they just watch them. All just go in there and just tackle him. Yeah. That's what the Texans did to Derrick Henry.
Oh, that was all over him.
They made sure he didn't get no extra yards. Look, they all gained up on him.
So people probably asking, like, you said 20-plus touches. Yeah, he had 16 carries and he had 4 receptions. His 4 receptions combined to 1 yard, bro. 1 yard. They shut down Derrick Henry. They took him out the game. He was not a factor at all. And that right there is the real reason the Texans won the game. But not only that, you look at DeAndre Hopkins. We talking about D-Hop. 9 targets, only 2 receptions.
And you know who the reason why he only like that?
It was actually a combination, but Stingley showed up. Stingley,
that man has improved since he came back from his injury. This is his 2nd year. And right now, they say that he's one of the best cornerbacks in the past, 5-6 games?
Improved.
Which he is. I don't like what he done. I give him his flowers. Look, he even got so good, even Magic Bros is rating us at 83.
Improved. Wow. Yeah, finally.
Yeah, finally.
But you know what? I know, Stingley played hats off, but also Steven Nelson played good too.
Yeah, he came over the key interception.
Because
Stingley could have had 2 in that game, but he didn't catch them.
Yeah, Stingley could have had 2. You're right, and he dropped those 2, but even then he still stopped them from making big possessions, big conversions, and things like that when it really mattered. And then like Nelson, he had that 1 interception on under DeAndre Hopkins too. So the corners or the DBs all together has really played lights out for this Texans team. But not only that, let's also mention.
That's what I was thinking about too.
Let's mention what Jonathan Grenard has been doing, bro.
That's what I was thinking about.
We talking about a DN that hasn't had double-digit, sacks. And I'm talking about 10 or more sacks for a Texan team since J.J. Watt. This dude had 2.5 sacks against the Tennessee Titans. This dude playing amazing, and we're not even talking about Anderson being on the field. He's doing it by himself. So. Imagine when Anderson get back.
I'm happy what Grenard is doing, but I'm not gonna give him his flowers just that quick. It's only this 1 year. We haven't seen the player do it like you said since J.J. Watt. He got to prove to me another year, see if he can do it.
Well, another reason why he going that hard this year is his contract year.
I'm glad he's doing what he's doing though, but he got to prove it again.
But Grenard, he has shown flashes before because his rookie year he actually had a good season, and then he just had the injury. I think last year he was injured or whatever. So the thing about Grenard is really about health. If Grenard is healthy, we see what we can get out of him. He's always been consistent when he's healthy, and hopefully, if we do sign him, we sign him to a reasonable deal. But nothing that's out of the league type numbers.
So my question is for you. Well, we'll get to it in a second.
All right. So looking at the defensive side of the ball, defense played good, DBs played good. All that culminated to a 19-16 win. It was a very scary game. Case Keenum threw some scary passes in that game.
Oh, but, yeah, definitely Shaw's pass. They were like, don't do it.
Yeah.
He was like, oh,
but, with all that being said, we did a good job on Will Levis. We sacked him 7 times. That means Will Levis was either holding the ball too long
popping his ass.
or the Texans' defensive line is really just
the
that
line
good.
got to him. The line got to him.
And I want to turn the page because this defensive line is really finna have to go against another team with a pretty good defensive line. And I think the trenches is really what's going to matter against this in this Houston and Cleveland game because we already know who on Cleveland D-line, Myles Garrett, you know what I'm saying? And we got John Gennard, and we got, some people in the interior in the defensive tackle nose guard position. But, man, I think the winner of this game is really going to be depending on somewhat quarterback play, Joe Flacco versus Case Keenum. But also, it's going to really come down to what happens in the trenches. Can the Texans shut down the Browns' run game? We talking about Ford, who got 718 yards so far this season, which is pretty decent, in comparison to Singletary with 711 yards. They both got 3 TDs.
I think that's pretty good for a person who's not the starting running back.
Exactly. So we got 2 backs that's really going to be accurate this weekend. We got 2 D-lines that's really going to be accurate. And I think that's really going to be the focal point of both teams. Who D-line can really push the other offensive line back the furthest and who can really make the plays. Because to me, I think for the Texans to win this game, they really got to force Joe Flacco to beat them.
Of course. And that's going to go for the same thing for the Browns going against us. They knew David Singletary had a good big game. What they think is they're gonna try to make
Case Keenum make a play,
make us throw the ball, which I want us. That's what I want. Make us throw because we have the playmakers to do it. I feel like we have the better still offense overall to me in general than the Browns, other than when they have Nick Chubb. But when it comes to passing game, I think we have the best passing game. We're number 5 in passing yardage, and I feel like we need to throw the ball in order for us to win this game. And then we get that game going, and if the receivers making plays, it's going to open up their run game, and we're going to dominate. That's going to be our key to winning. It's win and go home. Every game counts, so we got to take a chance. We can't play too conservative. Can't.
Yeah. I would say this, bro. Like, I was thinking when the Texans play, like, the mediocre quarterbacks of the league that they have on their schedule,
They take it for granted.
They always take them for granted. They allow them to kind of cook because you think about it, like Bryce Young, he cooked. Gunnar Minshew, he cooked. Desmond Ridder, he cooked. But then, like when we play like an actual, top quarterback, Russell Wilson, we play good against him. Who else we play? We play Trevor Lawrence. We play good against him. But I don't know. I think. With me saying that, I feel like they're going to take Joe Flacco for granted in this game, and he's going to throw for some big yards.
This game going to really be more a passing game more than a run game. I know our biggest thing will be to stop the run. That's what we should focus on, stopping their run. Mm-hmm. They have a good tight end for them that's real big and solid who can make some plays. And they have Amari Cooper. I'm not saying we should sleep on that passing game, but we need to take their run game out the way Joe Flacco don't get started on the passing game. Play action and everything like that. When you take out the run, I think it's going to be more of a passing game than be a run game.
Yeah, man. Hopefully the Texans can really step it up. I know we're number 16 in the NFL in yards allowed, which is not bad. It's the middle of the pack. But we talking about a Cleveland team that's number 1 in yards allowed, which means that they're pretty much got the number 1 defense in the NFL. And the Texans got to take on that defense with their 3rd string quarterback. And the good thing about this, though, is Nico Collins is going to be back. So we get to stretch the field with Nico. We got Schultz. Singletary is on the roll. And that leads to say Singletary on the roll. But where is Dameon Pierce? Dameon Pierce, bro, had 1 carry against the Tennessee Titans.
Wow! Well, I didn't see no need for Dameon Pierce to be playing that game as good as David Singletary was already doing. He was breaking tackles, getting big yardage, and still breaking more tackles for more yards at one play. It was, 3rd and 16. He broke 15 yards. He did his thing, so there was no point of taking Singletary out and lowering his carries and having Pierce in it. So I wasn't really tripping about Pierce even being in that game. I'm like, Singletary's hot. Keep him in the game. Yeah. He's opened up the passing game too. Keep him in the game. So but your thing on Damian Pierce, like you said, it's not his system, and I feel that he still could be a factor for our team. I don't think that we should move on from him. I think we can still use him in different games when we need a good power running back to pick up the yards. I just feel like he probably needs to step up his game, learn how to read the cuts more. But it's only his third year now. So
second year. This is second year.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Second year. Damian Pierce I still believe he's a decent quarterback. I feel like decent running back. I feel like he can learn how to get in the backfield and learn how to catch the ball, open up his game.
Yeah,
that's part of the game. But I think he still could be a factor for us.
Well, I hope he is a factor. I think we're really gonna need his ability to be aggressive and get through the line against this Browns team. Because one thing about this Browns team, not only are they a good defense, but they're aggressive defense.
We might need that
physicality. And we're gonna definitely need this physicality coming out of the backfield. But we also gonna need Singletary with his ability to make people miss as well. I
feel like Singletary should start this game. I feel like we should use him more in the passing game. One thing I'm gonna say on this real quick, I didn't like what I saw from Case Keenum, that he was always just looking at one person. I feel like he needs to see the field more and know who gonna be and read the play and who's gonna be open. That's what thing with Tom Brady was. He was a system guy. He knew who was gonna be open by knowing what the defense was. That's what made him so good. And that's what made Stroud so good, because that's what he learned. That's what he do. He know who was gonna be open. Case Keenum, he just going along with the play. He's just going along and just Noah Brown had 8 targets.
I mean, that could be possibly true. Noah Brown probably was the primary receiver on those plays.
Open until second quarter to half.
But that could be also because Schultz was helping in a blocking scheme as well. But I also, like I said, I feel like Keenum was very rusty, bro. Like, for a quarterback, imagine somebody asked you to go do something you ain't did in, over a year. You're going to be rusty. You're going to be like, man, I ain't did this in a long time. Like, yeah, he might go through little reps and stuff at practice, but he's not even getting the first team reps. Last time I checked, Mills was still taking the first team reps. And you got to remember, Keenum is the third string quarterback. So a lot of that he had to kind of adjust. But I feel like he knocked off the rust pretty good in the second half. But the one reason they started Keenum over Mills, I honestly believe, is that it's because he makes his decisions faster and he gets the ball out faster. And so than Mills. Mills probably would have held the ball a little longer. But now look.
I don't know about that.
I'll say this.
Plays Keenum just holding that ball like, bro, get it.
But it wasn't nobody open. It wasn't nobody open, bro. Either that or he just couldn't see. But
he is short.
I would say that, like, I think he did miss some receivers being open in that game for sure. But there was also times where he didn't have the chance to really get the ball out. So I think I'm going to tell you, the offensive line definitely got to play better in this game against the Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? For us to have a win in it. But the good thing is that we at home, and I just feel like the Texans going to take care of home, and they're going to get the win. I know the Texans favored by 3 points, but I actually see a possibility that the Texans could win this game by 10 points. Just a small possibility.
I can see that.
Or they could lose this game by 10 points.
I can see that too.
Now, it would be crazy. I know it's Thursday. Stroud's still in concussion protocol, but, may God bless us with Stroud come Sunday against Cleveland, but I highly doubt he play against Cleveland this Sunday, especially if he hasn't even really been out at practice and getting into team activity.
If I feel like the team is probably more focused on his health more than trying to get him back out there right away, which I'm okay with. If we end up losing this game and don't make the playoffs, I'll be okay with it, because we thought that we probably would see the Texans winning. We didn't think Stroud probably be as great as he was. I think we probably saw them maybe winning maybe 7 games maybe. We achieved that at 8.
Yeah.
So it's not making the playoffs. It would be okay, because I want Stroud to come back healthy.
Yeah, that's true. And, the one good thing about this, though, is that if Keenum or Mills, whoever may start or who may come in and make a play, if they can get this win against the Browns, bro, and Stroud come back next week, you hand the keys over to Stroud, I think we can win out
We'll play the Colts after that too. Right?
You know what I'm saying? We playing the Titans again at home, and then we playing the Colts on the road, and we got C.J. Stroud fully healthy. I think the Texans can win out. You know, and even in worst case scenario, even if the Texans lose this game, and the Colts possibly lose to Atlanta, because Atlanta's pretty hungry right now. They need this win, you know, against the Colts. And then that Jacksonville game is very, very important, not only for Jacksonville, but for Tampa. That's a big impact game because Tampa is in the lead for their division in the NFC South, and they need the game to stay in control so the Saints don't have control, because the Saints just lost, so the Saints need Tampa to lose. We need Jacksonville to lose and the Colts. So even the Texans lose, bro, overall, we still got a shot. But if we win against Cleveland, we got control. Because I don't see it happening.
I feel like this is our biggest win out of the next two games because, like you said, Tampa is hungry against Jacksonville, and we need Tampa to beat Jacksonville. And I believe they possibly can. The way they lost, Jacksonville lost their last 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
So this is really a must-win game for us because we can beat them. We win this now. The Colts, man, I feel like they really our biggest challenge in the Jacksonville and getting to the playoffs because they hot. They hot.
Yeah.
And I'm
the Colts are hot.
What they're doing with the players and the talent they have and with the quarterback. I believe they one of the best underdog teams that's going in the playoffs if they make it.
Yeah. Man, that Atlanta Colts game, bro, is really going to be interesting. You know, Atlanta at home, Colts on the road. And I really like Atlanta, you know, just to pull it off.
I feel like for Atlanta to win, to beat the Colts, they have to beat them in the run game.
But you know, it's going to be in the run game because their quarterbacks ain't really all that good. So that's going to be the key to beat the Colts. You know, hopefully they can do it for us. And we can look up and possibly be licking our chops at the Titans, because I think we definitely can whoop the Titans at home with C.J. Stroud, and then go on the road to face the Colts, which is a solid team. But who is your pick for this Texans-Browns game, and what's your score prediction?
I'm going Texans all the way. You know, I'm being biased on this one. I know I am because I want my team to win, of course, but I see us winning maybe by 6 to 10 points.
6 to 10 points. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Texans by 6 to 10 points as well. I said 10. I think the Texans can really do it. I think we can really force some turnovers in this game that's really gonna make a difference for our team. And I believe Joe Flacco is gonna mess up in this game and put us in the front.
I'm gonna get a score. I'm gonna get a score. 10 to 21.
10 to 21.
Texans 21. Browns 10. No, excuse me. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give it 17-21.
17-21.
17-21.
I'm gonna ride with 24-14 Texans.
I take that too. I'm gonna stick with my 21-17.
It's gonna be a tough 24.
I feel like we'll pull it off either towards the end or just keep the lead as we go. It'd be tough, but I'm not saying it's gonna be easy at all.
See, Trey people, y'all don't know. Trey one of the people when the game get close. I can't watch it. You know, he turned the TV off. People like, I gotta go, bro. I gotta go.
Well, most time I know when they gonna lose.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, bro. It's gonna be one of them games this week because Case Keenum.
I want to turn it off last week, but I watched it through.
I would say Case Keenum playing quarterback. I think our defense gonna make some good moves, you know, against Joe Flacco. I believe he's gonna throw a pick, at least one for sure. Somebody might fumble in that game.
I feel like we're gonna disguise that coverage on him real well, and I feel like, I don't know. Maybe I'm
not gonna say we're gonna disguise no coverage on him well because he's a veteran and he's been doing it for a long time.
But he ain't been starting to be licking.
He ain't been starting, but it's still Joe Flacco, bro. Like I said, I'm not taking him for granted. You know what I'm saying? I think he's gonna make some big plays. I think it's gonna be a lot of passing in that game, but it's gonna be.
The Browns gonna force that ball upfield. They don't stick with.
They got Amari Cooper. You know, they got Njoku. I don't know who else they got.
They'd be a fool not to pass that ball.
But they got some weapons, bro. And the Texans gonna have their hands full. But I feel like this Texan team is really put together well to stop the Browns and slow them down.
I want to see Stingley on Cooper the whole game. I want to see him show more of his game and keep Cooper. If he can lock Cooper out the way, I don't want to see Nelson on him out of nowhere. I want to see Stingley on him.
So if you was to pick an MVP for this game, who you think is gonna be?
Defense wise or just overall?
Just overall.
Damn, man, you put me in that position. I'll probably go Noah Brown.
Noah Brown.
Okay, with Collins coming back, they know they're gonna need to shut down Collins more. They want Noah Brown. Collins is a 1,000-yard receiver now.
Mm-hmm.
He's a bigger receiver. He can take out the deep. If he want one-on-one coverage, they ain't gonna want to do one-on-one coverage. They gonna take the top off. I feel like Noah Brown would get more of the inside routes. Probably get a couple deep ones maybe. But I feel like Noah Brown will probably come out more in the receiving game more than Collins or Schultz. I'm gonna give it to Noah Brown. Noah Brown. Oh shit, man!
Hold up, before you change your mind, bro.
No. I'm thinking about touchdowns. So I want to say give Noah Brown 2 touchdowns, but I'm gonna give him 1 touchdown. But I feel like he's gonna lead him in receiving yards.
Okay, so my MVP for this game, believe it or not, is Jalen Petrie. I feel like Petrie has been slacking the last 3 or 4 games.
He ain't blew a couple coverages.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he blew some coverage. He ain't really made plays like we expected him
like
to.
he did last year.
Like last year.
But it's fine because he's still a solid safety. But
I feel like this game right here is going to be a game where he actually makes some plays. And we're going to be like, okay, Petrie. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about, Petrie.
Oh, he's definitely going to help in stopping the run.
I think Petrie is going to be the MVP of this game for the Texans. And I would like to really see him go out there and make some plays. All right, people. So I had found an interesting post where this person was talking about who made it or who hit and who missed as far as rookie quarterbacks in the NFL since 1989. And they basically summarized it and said that if your quarterback didn't lead your team to a Super Bowl, he was a miss. Meaning like he was a bust. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't it. So Trey, I'm gonna list all of the quarterbacks out, hit and miss. You know what I'm saying? And I want you to give me your opinion because from what this guy said, it's really crazy. And I was like really scratching my head, bro. So in 1989, you had Troy Aikman. He was a hit. 1990, Jeff George, miss. 1993, Drew Bledsoe, miss. 1998, Peyton Manning was a hit. But then they, said it was a big debate, between Peyton Manning and Ryan Leaf, but we know who the better quarterback is today. And then, 1999, Tim Couch, miss. 2001, Mike Vick, miss. 2002, David Carr, miss. 2003, Carson Palmer was a miss. 2004, Eli Manning was a hit. 2005, Alex Smith was a miss. 2007, Jamarcus Russell was a huge miss. And then 2009, Matthew Stafford, miss. 2010, Sam Bradford, miss. 2011, Cam Newton, hit, NFL MVP. 2012, Andrew Luck, miss. 2015, Jameis Winston, miss. 2016, Jared Goff, hit. 2018, Baker Mayfield, miss. And he says a Lincoln Riley QB. And then 2009, Kyler Murray, miss. Lincoln Riley QB. 2020, Joe Burrow was a hit. 2021, Trevor Lawrence is a miss. 2023, Bryce Young is a miss. And then he said 2024, he even made an early prediction. Caleb Williams, more than likely, another Lincoln Riley QB miss. What you think, bro? First up, look, Mike Vick, a miss? Michael Vick?
Michael Vick, I'm not gonna say it was a miss. What he did off the field messed his career up and had him miss a chance of possibly winning the Super Bowl. So I'm not gonna say that was a miss at all.
Bro, I want you to just look at the whole, culminate everything that Mike Vick did, for the NFL and in his career. bro, we used to want to be Mike Vick as a
He
kid.
paved the way for a lot of these.
You know what I'm saying? And you gonna call him a miss? Mike Vick was a special player. Even when after he went to jail and came back and played for the Eagles, he was still special.
I heard a lot of names in there about being a miss, and
then Drew Bledsoe, how could you consider him a miss? Yeah, Tom Brady, replaced him after all years later, but Drew Bledsoe led the Patriots to the Super Bowl, bro. He led them to the Super Bowl. So, what you call Drew Bledsoe a miss? No, he's not a miss in my book.
If I'm not mistaken, because I'm thinking about this really, really, really hard, didn't Matthew Stafford just win a Super Bowl?
Matthew Stafford won a Super Bowl with the Rams.
Exactly.
And even besides that, even with the Lions, he was still a solid quarterback. Yeah. Definitely wouldn't call him no miss. Then they said Carson Palmer. Carson Palmer was pretty solid, bro, for the Bengals. Carson Palmer was a pretty decent quarterback.
He was decent.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even consider him decent. He was above average.
If I see, I'm going to put it like this. Out of the list of quarterbacks I heard, all the quarterbacks were solid with numbers and overall. But a quarterback can only do so much if you don't give him some talent to make his game more than what it can be.
Right.
You just give him mediocre players, you're going to get mediocre stats and mediocre fucking damn wins. But if you give him some big names, some big time playmakers, you'll see him make more plays and more. He'll probably get more to I can't even want to say what I want to say, but he'll probably be having MVP more than the receiver probably doing. Yeah. Like how they was talking about one of the quarterbacks right now. I can't really think of him about. They were Brock Purdy. They were like, well, Brock Purdy should be the MVP, but then you got the receivers. They're like, oh well, should this receiver be MVP because he's making the play? Oh, matter of fact, I'm sorry, it was Tua. They was talking about Tua Tagovailoa. They were like, well, he's an MVP candidate, but should Tyreek Hill considered to be favorable for MVP more than Tua because he's making more to play for Tua. But then Tua showed last week that he didn't need Tyreek Hill. He had Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle had 100 yards, and Tua showed him it ain't them. He's doing this. So no,
I mean, I think like when you brought up Brock Purdy and even Tua, they are perfect examples because, bro, you put young quarterbacks into a position where they got a lot of targets, a lot of weapons. I think anybody can go out there and excel, especially when they got a decent offensive line in front of them to do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to really say hit or miss on some of these guys. We know some of these guys was actually
Andrew Luck was very fucking damn disrespectful.
Yeah, Andrew. That's what I'm saying. Andrew Luck. You consider him a miss? Like, come on,
that
dude.
Man was.
He was a special player.
Special, and every time we played, I would be afraid. Any team that played him, I'm pretty sure they was afraid of Andrew Luck because he can read the coverages pretty well. He had the arm. He can make plays with his feet. Only thing that just hurt him was his injuries. But
another player I feel like they really disrespect. I honestly feel like Alex Smith was disrespected.
Alex Smith, yes, since he was with Kansas City, they had a winning record every year. They just couldn't pull it off to get to
But also you look at Kansas City when they had Alex Smith. Yeah, they had some good teams, but they ain't never have a team built around him like they put around Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? I just say that though, right? And then not only that, when Mahomes came in to take over Alex Smith's position, he came in with a lot of weapons. He had the offensive line, and he had a team that was already built for the playoffs.
Didn't I just say that?
You know what I'm saying?
You put the talent around the quarterback, they'll make it happen.
Yeah.
And for a quarterback to win the records to what really no name players and keep it going, like Tom Brady, for example. Every year he always had really the players he played with, he made them names.
Yeah.
They didn't make him name.
Yeah, Tom Brady
made them.
Only really big time receiver that he ever really had was Randy Moss that came in there.
So what about Wes Welker, my boy?
Wes Welker he made, but I'm saying Wes Welker was there, but he wasn't no big time receiver that was drafted or anything. Wes Welker, he kind of came out the mud, bro, with Tom Brady. And who else did Wes Welker ever really play with? I think he played with Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
That's it.
He did good with him. I think he won.
Yeah, but you see the two quarterbacks he had throwing to him. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like Wes Welker came from having David Carr throwing the ball to him or something. Now that's a miss. You know what I'm saying? David Carr is a miss. Beyond what offensive line he had in front of him, I feel like David Carr was not going to be that player, but we would never really know. But that's a prime example of what we're talking about. You draft a quarterback high, he ain't got no offensive line. He only got one weapon or two weapons, Andre Johnson and whoever else on the other side,
I'm about to speak on that again. I'm surprised that person didn't put Stroud in there. Only reason why I'm pretty sure why they put Stroud.
Because he wasn't the first pick. All these dudes were first picks.
First picks. Okay, I'm sorry on that. Okay.
Yeah, that's why he's not on there. But even Kyler Murray. I mean, I'll be honest. Like Kyler Murray, I wouldn't say he a bust. I feel like he decent. Well, we don't really know where he's going, but I feel like he could be like Alex Smith.
Kyler Murray, that's a tough one. I don't know. I haven't never really seen too many big offensive plays from Kyler Murray. He had DeAndre Hopkins, and I feel like he fumbled the bag with that one. He had the chance to have a big time receiver and then feed that man as much as he should have.
Yeah. So you'll consider him a miss?
I'm gonna consider him a miss on that one.
Okay. I mean, but that one debatable. So you really can't say he is or isn't. But you gave good reasons why. Bryce Young, I would say it's too early to say he a miss. He's really put into a bad position. His team is not good. People don't really realize that his team is not good. Next season, I think we'll have a better opportunity to really see is Bryce Young going to be a top quarterback or he's going to be a bottom dweller. But
I agree with that. I would give him to next year, but I really would give him to in his rookie contract to see what he really is at with them.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think. Well, I'm gonna say this. His team is bad. He probably don't have the receivers that we would like him to have or whatever the case may be. But I think that when that quarterback is special. Like you just know. Like it will make a difference. Like look at Stroud. Stroud ain't really got no A1 receivers like that. Like he's made them better. And Dale and Nico stepped up. Those two are special. But we seen what Noah Brown did before in Dallas. He was decent, but he was never what he is right now. You know what I'm saying? And even some of the other dudes that we got, but Stroud made them better. And I think we just know that he's going to be a special kind of player in this league. But Bryce Young is still a question mark. And since it's still a question mark, I don't really necessarily think that he's going to be an elite quarterback. But I do think he has the opportunity to be average or above average at best.
I don't think that he found out the pace of the game yet. I feel like the game is moving too fast for him. And that's why I feel like, every quarterback doesn't develop as fast as most. Mm-hmm. And some of them take a couple years. And we've seen that.
Since you say that, only quarterback that I could think that would perfectly fit Bryce Young and he probably need to train with him is probably Drew Brees. Drew Brees, he used to, play with the Chargers and he had Phillip Rivers in front of him. And nobody really expected Drew Brees to really be that kind of quarterback that he came out to be, a Hall of Fame quarterback. And it's crazy that they had two Hall of Fame type kind of quarterbacks on their roster. You know what I'm saying? But Drew Brees is that perfect kind of player. It took him a couple years to really become of his own. He got to the Saints, and then boom, like he just took the NFL by storm, and he did it for years and years until he retired. And it's possible that Bryce Young could be, on that kind of trajectory.
I can honestly see Bryce Young being the top quarterback one day. Not right now. I give him 4 years before he pick up the game. Before he pick up, how to move better in the pocket. 'Cause I feel like his presence in the pocket is terrible. That's why he's not making the plays that he's making, what he should be making.
Well, look, after all that, what we saying, about Bryce Young, I would say this: if it's gonna take him 4 years, bro, he ain't worth a max deal.
That's cool.
You know what I'm saying? And he wasn't worth.
If they see his development, of course they're gonna probably not give him no max contract. Yeah. They want to see.
And I was gonna say, and he wasn't worth the first pick. If it's taking him 4 years to really take the NFL by storm, and
how many quarterbacks that came out first pick that's really just been solid the rest of their career? It's not a lot that came out as a first round pick and been solid.
I mean, yes, it is, bro. Been solid, like.
It's a lot of
I'm not saying
number one picks that came out.
Okay, first number one picks, not first number one pick quarterbacks. No, it isn't. But there's a lot of young rookie quarterbacks or young quarterbacks that have got into the game, and well, I don't know, man. Shit. I was gonna say Mahomes, bro, but Mahomes he did sit on the bench for what, a year or two.
A year,
and then he came in and he just took it from there. But well, RG3, bro, Andrew Luck, and RG3.
Still to that day, they still one of the best top quarterback classes right there.
And then Cam Newton, he jumped out there ready.
That was the top. That's still one of the top classes still to this day right now.
Yeah.
But obviously, them two quarterbacks recently, their injuries messed up their career. But
yeah.
That was probably the best top.
But we just talking about them coming out and being good right away. We knew they were special right away.
I knew. Okay, we'll talk about that another day. I don't want to go too much.
Yeah, I mean, we can say that. We can say
go
that
all day on that one.
All right, people, it's college football pick'em time, and the bowl game is the big deal this weekend. Everybody's going to be enjoying their holidays, but they're also going to be looking forward to seeing some of the biggest games in college football of this week and the weekend going into the new year. And let's start it off. There's one bowl game on Friday, December 22nd, UCF and Georgia Tech. Who do you got?
UCF and Georgia Tech going UCF.
UCF, okay. I like UCF in this game because I seen a little bit of Georgia Tech. I wasn't really too impressed. I've seen a lot of UCF, and I know they got some good cornerstone players over there that's really going to be licking their chops to prove themselves going into the next college football season. So UCF for the win. One of the good games on this Saturday is Utah and Northwestern. I'm going to ride with Utah in the Las Vegas Bowl. What about you?
I'm going Utah. They have a bigger schedule and they play better teams. And yeah, both teams fought it out to the bowl game, but Utah is the better team. Okay.
And one more interesting game on this Saturday is actually James Madison and Air Force. James Madison was a team that was at the FCS level that got into the FBS level this past season, and they was told that they was not going to be eligible to play in a bowl game. You know what I'm saying? But these guys, they got in there and they went on a big win streak. They was beating everybody they had in front of them, and then they said, oh, you know what? We don't have enough teams, so we're going to go ahead and let James Madison play. So now they got Air Force in front of them. Air Force actually had a pretty good season. They was ranked quite a few times this season. And with all that being said, it being the Armed Forces Bowl, I know Air Force probably going to feel like they're at home, but I like James Madison because they're going to have a big chip on their shoulder.
Taking James Madison, I was looking at that way before you called it out.
Okay.
James Madison.
All right. So, moving on. Tuesday, December 26th, day after Christmas. Talk about a former foe in Texas State and Rice. Rice will be playing at the First Responder Bowl against Texas State, and I like Rice in this game.
Yeah, I actually seen a couple games of Rice and that old ass quarterback, that guy he played with.
JT Daniels.
Yeah, and they got a good run game too, so I'm going with Rice.
All right. Then we got Wednesday. It's some really heavy. It's some really big heavy hitters in this game on Wednesday, December 27th. Louisville and USC. Not sure if your boy gonna play quarterback.
Got his name. I know you're talking about.
Caleb Williams. I don't know if he gonna play, but Louisville has really been that team this year that can go out and upset somebody. They whooped the hell out of Notre Dame, and USC got they ass whooped by Notre Dame. So I like Louisville in this game against USC.
I'm going USC. This football, anything can happen in football. I'm going USC on that one because they have the better receiver talent overall and the better playmakers overall than Louisville. It might just because they're not ranked doesn't mean anything. I'm going USC on that.
Okay, we're gonna see. Oklahoma State, Texas A&M at the Texas Bowl here in Houston. I'm gonna ride with Oklahoma State in this game.
Oklahoma State. I'm not gonna. There was no hesitation on that. I seen when Texas played Oklahoma State and Texas beat their ass, but Oklahoma State still stayed in. They played well, and I can feel they're gonna put a number on Texas A&M.
Okay.
Oklahoma State.
All right. Thursday, December 28th. SMU, Boston College going against each other. I like SMU in this game just because of what I've seen from SMU. They are very explosive. They put up a lot of points. I don't think Boston College is ready for a team like that to come in and be able to slow them down. I feel like SMU would definitely defeat Boston College.
I agree with that. I go with SMU. I don't know too much about Boston College this year. I ain't really watched so many games, but I think SMU has a better team than Boston College. Plus, Boston College ain't really been that great in a long time, for real. Go SMU. SMU always has some decent solid players.
All right. Oklahoma, Arizona. This a really good matchup, and it's a matchup that we won't be seeing not as soon as I thought because Oklahoma moving from the Big 12, but Arizona coming into the Big 12. But still, we get number 14 in the nation in Arizona, number 12 in Oklahoma, playing in the Valero Alamo Bowl. Man, I'll be honest, bro, it's gonna be a tough one, but I'm gonna ride with Oklahoma.
I agree with that too.
All right. And then we got NC State, Kansas State. Kansas State, man, they love to run the ball. They got a amazing offensive line. I feel like they're gonna put.
I'm going Kansas State.
Kansas State.
I'm going Kansas State.
And I was gonna say something about it being the Pop Tarts Bowl, but yeah, Kansas State, bro, for the win.
Kansas State they always find good recruiting with running backs, and they known for running backs coming out their team. I feel like they don't have a good running game against them. Going Kansas State.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and for Friday, December 29th, we got Missouri and Ohio State. I love my Ohio State Buckeyes, so I'm easily riding with them in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl. Go, Ohio State.
I'm going to go Ohio State. They got a good quarterback there. Obviously, come next year, he's planning on transferring, but I'm going Oklahoma State. I'm sorry, not Oklahoma State, Ohio State.
Okay. Oregon State, Notre Dame. Number 19, Oregon State, and number 16, Notre Dame. This is actually going to be a good game. It's gonna be It's gonna be at the Sun Bowl in El Paso in the sun, and I'm gonna ride with Oregon State as the underdog. I feel like they're gonna pull it off against Notre Dame.
I was going Notre Dame. I'm going Notre Dame on that one.
All right. Ole Miss, Penn State on Saturday, December 30th. Penn State for the win in the Chick-fil-A Bowl.
I'm going Penn State. I've always been a Penn State fan for some odd reason. Don't know why, but I'm going Penn State.
All right. Georgia, Florida State. Number 6, Georgia. Number 5, Florida State. Now, this one is actually interesting because Georgia was undefeated all year long. Then they finally lost, to Alabama, and then they kicked them out of the football playoff. So they're going to have a big chip on their shoulder. But then we got Florida State, who went undefeated, beat everybody else in front of them, won the ACC championship, and they got, ousted from the football playoff because their quarterback got hurt or whatever the case may be. They felt like they wasn't good enough to compete. And now you got two teams with big chips on their shoulder. Man, bro, this is going to be a really good game. Heavy hitters. I feel like this defense is going to be, top notch on both sides. Honestly, bro, I'm going to have to ride with Georgia.
Going Florida State. Florida State I think they have a bigger fan base, and I feel like their crowd gonna be more into the game. I'm going Florida State.
It's interesting you say that because this game actually gonna be at the Orange Bowl, so it's gonna be in Florida. So, it's gonna give them a little hand up.
One of the hardest teams to play at when it comes to their field, because that crowd, you can't beat it. I'm going Florida State.
Well, it's gonna be interesting. All right, and then we got Wisconsin and LSU, number 13, LSU taking on Wisconsin. We know Wisconsin gonna bring a solid defense to LSU. LSU got the reigning Heisman Trophy winner quarterback, and honestly, I'm gonna ride with LSU. I think Wisconsin gonna play solid defense. It's gonna be a close game, but LSU gonna prevail.
I want LSU.
Number 23, Liberty versus number 8, Oregon. Liberty has actually put together some solid football teams these last couple years since they graduated to the FBS level. And it's crazy that number 8 Oregon is playing number 23 Liberty. I don't know what kind of bow ties they got, but I honestly say that Oregon is probably going to dominate Liberty in this game.
No doubt, I'm already going Oregon.
I'm highly disappointed in NCAA. Damn. Number 17, Iowa. Number 21, Tennessee. Faces off against each other. Iowa been solid. They lost in the Big Ten championship game. Tennessee, we know, they usually put a competitive team together. But this game being the Citrus Bowl, being in Orlando, I'm going to give the favor.
I'm going Iowa.
I'm riding with Tennessee. Let's go Volunteers. All right. And then we say the best for last as usual. The Big Four teams. Alabama and Michigan. Now, I already made my predictions earlier, but we can go ahead and break it down, Alabama and Michigan. Alabama has always dominated Michigan when it comes to this part of the season. Also, I look at these corn-fed white boys, black boys on this Alabama team. Michigan ain't ready. Michigan, they swallowed they spit, bro, when they found out that they was going to have to play Alabama and not play Florida State. And I feel right there and then that Michigan was scared of the Alabama Crimson Tide. And so for that reason, I'm riding with the Alabama Crimson Tide to beat the Michigan Wolverines.
I'm going Alabama. Like I said, they've been solid for the past 10, 11 years. And Nick Saban know how to win. He know how to get his team in a position to where they win these games. I'm going Alabama.
Yeah. And then we got UT, University of Texas, versus the Washington Huskies. The interesting thing about this Washington Huskies game, bro, is that the game is in New Orleans. They playing UT. UT's just next door. You know what I'm saying? Across the river, you're right there. We got UT. It's nothing for UT to come over there to New Orleans and have home field advantage. You got people coming all the way from the Pacific Northwest trying to come down to New Orleans and split the stadium, and I just don't see it happening. I like UT in this game. Like I said, we talk about corn-fed white boys, black boys from all over the country, skilled players from all different positions. I think UT got a defensive line that's really going to handle those Samoans that Washington got on their O-line. I don't know, bro. It's going to be a good game, electric. I think Michael Penix Jr. is going to really play well in this game. And honestly, it's going to be the battle of the quarterbacks. Quinn Ewers versus Michael Penix Jr. On the high stage. But I like UT and their running game and their defensive line versus Washington.
I'm going Texas. I haven't really seen too much Washington play. I seen Texas probably maybe a couple games in Texas. And I seen when they played Oklahoma State, man, they played their ass off. Their running backs are good. And I really believe their receivers is their most solid thing because their receivers can run some routes. I feel like they gonna eat their ass up in that passing game. I'm going Texas on that.
All right. So we got Alabama and Texas heading into the college football playoff national championship here in Houston, Texas. And Trey, you got your ticket already? I got mine. The tickets start as low as $1,300, bro. You ready? You ready?
That's crazy.
Well, hey, hopefully, next week our predictions remain correct. We're going to see. But it's going to be interesting, though. All right, so turning the page real quick, I want to talk about college basketball rankings. Really, I want to talk specifically about U of H because we're number 3 in the nation, baby. And a lot of these teams that they actually going to be playing, they will actually be seeing consistently in conference or out of conference come, or they'll be in conference next year or currently out of conference. Like Arizona, they're number 4, but they'll be Big 12 going into next season. But, this team, bro, U of H, they just beat Texas A&M. Texas A&M was ranked in the top 25. They got a good win against them. And now U of H is sitting at number 3. Solid schedule ahead. They playing West Virginia, Iowa State, TCU, Texas Tech, so on and so on. First big game will be against BYU, which is number 17. They'll be on the road. Then they play UT. I can't wait until that one. That's January 29th. looking forward to this basketball season. I just want to touch here. I mean, U of H took out a couple good teams so far. Utah, A&M, like I said, Xavier. But it's getting real interesting. It's really finna start heating up, especially when we finish with this college football championship. It's gonna be all basketball, so people be looking forward to that because basketball is really finna be the limelight of everything besides the NFL playoffs. Oh, and shout out to the Texas Southern Tigers. They finally got their first win. They beat Howard University. Go Tigers! Yeah, man.
That's a foul. That's a foul.